Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chevam Narotayam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jaye Uddhate Nistaprayesu Adveshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Sloke Bhakti Bhavarti Nistike. Today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, a prescribed duty for mankind. Indra offers his spiritual master Brihaspati. Text 1. Maharaj Pariksit inquired from Sukadeva Goswami, O great sage, why did the spiritual master of the demigod Brihaspati reject the demigods who were his own disciples? What offense did the demigod commit against their spiritual master? Please describe to me this incident. Text 2 through 8. Sukadeva Goswami said, O king, once upon a time, the king of heavenly Indra became being extremely proud because of his great opulence of the three world, transgressed the law of the Vedic etiquette. Seated on his throne, he was surrounded by Mruts, uh, Vasus, Rudras, Adityas, Rabas, Vishwadevas, Sudyas, Ashwini Kumars, Siddhas, Karnas, and Gandhavas, and by great saintly persons. Also surrounding him were the Vedhas, Apsaras, Kinnaras, Patajas, birds, and Ugras, snakes. All of them were offering Indras their respects and services, and the Apsaras and the Gandharvas were dancing and singing with very sweet musical instruments. Over Indra's head was a white umbrella, as affluent as the full moon, fanned by Yakata tail, wished and served with all the paraphernalia of the great king. Indra was sitting with his wife Sachidevi, who occupied half of the throne, when the great sage Brihaspati appeared in the assembly. Brihaspati, the best of the sages, were the spiritual master of Indra and the demigods, and were respected by the demigods and the demigods alike. Nevertheless, although Indra was his spiritual master, before him he did not rise from his own seat or offer a seat to the spiritual master, nor did Indra offer his respect welcome. Indra did nothing to show him respect. Text 9. Brihaspati knew everything that would happen in the future. Seeing Indra's transgression of etiquette, he completely understood that Indra was puffed up by his material opulence. Although able to curse Indra, he did not do so. Instead, he left the assembly and in silence returned to his home. Text 10. Indra, the king of heavens, could immediately understand his mistake. Realizing he did disrespect his spiritual master, he condemned himself in the presence of all the members of the assembly. Text 11. The king of heavens could immediately understand his mistake. Realizing he did disrespect his spiritual master, he he condemned himself in the presence of all the members of the assembly. Text 11. Alas, what a regrettable deed I have committed because of my lack of intelligence and my pride in my material opulence. I failed to show respect to my spiritual master when he entered his assembly, and thus I have insulted him. Text 12. Although I am a king of the demigods who are situated in the mode of goodness. I was proud of the little opulence and polluted by false ego. Under the circumstances, who in the world would accept such riches? as the risk of falling down. Alas, I condemn my wealth and opulences. Text 13. If a person says, one who is situated on the exalted throne of a king should not stand up to show respect to another king or a brahmana, it is to be understood that he does not know the superior religious principles. Text
Thank you.
14. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes.
I was trying to remember if it was up to text 13 only.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for reading.
Thank you for
Mm.
giving me the opportunity, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Achyuta Radhika Mataji, whenever
Hare
you are ready,
Krishna.
please take
Please.
over the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mataji. Sorry, I'm not able to turn on the video. Still in India,
Yeah,
so
no problem. Do
um,
you want to
no,
share the screen, Mataji? Shall I stop sharing?
no, Mataji, you can keep sharing. Thank you. ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नित्यानंदे नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. So this is the new chapter now. Very interesting story about Indra and how he failed to disrespect his spiritual master. And so the link between the previous chapter and this chapter is in previous chapter. Shukadeva Goswami explained in verse 45, sixth chapter, verse 45. He said that in accordance with the order of Brahma, when the demigods were abandoned by their spiritual master Brihaspati, whom they had disrespected. So, like that, he was mentioning, you know, that this thing happened. So, Maharaj Parikshit remembered that, and then he started this next set of conversation or the next chapter by asking about that incident on about what exactly happened, how did Indra how disrespect Brihaspati, like that. So the first 10 verses are basically pretty much, there's no purport to that. It's just very straightforward. So it's just setting the scene. And so it's mentioned that Shukadeva Goswami mentioned that once upon a time, the king of heaven, Indra, he was surrounded by all of these different people like Maruts, Vasus, Rudras, Adityas, Rubus, Vishwadevas, Satyas, Ashwini Kumaras, Siddhas, Charanas, Gandharvas, these great personalities, these great saintly people. And he was being praised by Apsaras, Gandharvas. They were dancing and singing his glories. So you can imagine, like, somebody who's sitting as a king and people are praising him and dancing and singing his glories. And he was also accompanied by his wife, and he was also fanned and by different paraphernalia, and he was sitting with his wife Sachi Devi. And that is when Brihaspati, um, who's a guru of the demigod, and he's also respected by the by the demons as well. So Brihaspati entered the kingdom, and Indra saw his spiritual master, but he did not rise from his seat, or he did not even offer him a seat. So forget rising from his own seat, but he did not even offer a seat to his spiritual master. So he basically did nothing to show him his respect. And Brihaspati, he could understand that seeing Indra's etiquette, or like lack of etiquette in this context, he understood that Indra was puffed up by his material opulence, and although he was very powerful, Brihaspati was very powerful. He could actually curse Indra, but he did not curse him. So, but what he did was he just left the assembly, and he returned to his place. And and then Indra could immediately understand what he did, what mistake he had done, and how he had disrespected his spiritual master, and then he started condemning himself in the presence of everybody. So these are the this is basically setting the scene in the first 10 verses, and then from text 11, 12, 13, and after that also he's Indra is condemning himself, his behavior, his actions. And so so yeah, so that's the flow. um in in several places actually in Srimad Bhagavatam we see that Indra has committed a lot of different um offenses, or he has committed he has acted, you know, uh, he has shown disrespect, or he has acted in a way which is not like a Vaishnava behavior. Like for example, in Canto 4, we saw like Indra, he's tried to stop Prutu Maharaj's horse sacrifice, 100th horse sacrifice. So he did that, and then in the 10th canto, we all know about the story about how Indra tries to when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, he tries to he went to take the Parijata tree to please Satyabhama. Indra fought with Indra. In fact, he fought with Lord Krishna. So that was another incident, and then again in the 10th canto, we see, the famous pastime, Govardhan Leela pastime. So the Govardhan Leela pastime happened because Indra tried to destroy Vrindavan by sending torrential rains. So we see many places, we see different places that, he has done some things like that, which are a Vaishnava behavior. But yet, Indra remains a great and powerful devotee, and we should never disrespect him, or we should never make fun of him, or we should never, um, you know, like, call him out, or, you know, uh, show him, like, basically, like, disrespect him in any way. So, because Srimad Bhagavatam, it said in the 10th canto itself, it is mentioned that in 10th canto, chapter 33, verses 29 to 30, if somebody wants to refer. It says, the status of powerful controllers is not harmed by any apparent audacious transgression of morality we may see in them, for they are just like fire, which devours everything fed into it and remains unpolluted. One who is not a great controller should never imitate the behavior of ruling personalities, even mentally. If out of foolishness an ordinary person does imitate such behavior, he will simply destroy himself, just as a person who is not Rudra would destroy himself if he tried to drink an ocean of poison. So these great powerful controllers are not they're not affected, or they're not harmed by these apparent, uh, 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 misbehavior of theirs. So but for us, we should not imitate that behavior, and second thing is we should not even condone them. We should not talk about them in a way which is basically making fun of them. So otherwise that will destroy us. That will destroy our bhakti. It says that he will simply destroy himself, just as a person who is not Rudra, and if he would and Rudra would destroy himself if he tried to drink an ocean of poison. So that's what Srimad Bhagavatam says. um and then it also explains, Bhagavatam, in that same purport, it also explains that great potent personalities are not ruined by apparent transgression of moral principles. Sridhar Swami mentions the examples of Brahma, Indra, Soma, Vishwamitra, and others. Fire devours all that is fed into it, but the fire does not change its nature. Similarly, a great personality does not fall from his position by an irregularity in behavior. Shukadev Goswami makes it clear that if we try to imitate the great personalities ruling the universe, the result will be catastrophic. So, So yeah, so that's an important lesson that we should keep it in mind as we are going through these Bhagavatam chapters, because there are a lot of stories here, a lot of pastimes here, which degrade one person, and or apparently shows the flaws of one person, and all we have to do is just take lessons, and not actually, even in our mind we should not uh, find offense, or uh, you know of offend the devotee. Uh, so okay, coming back to this story, Shukadev Goswami, he's now explaining this particular pastime of Indra, of how this or and why this offense happened to Brihaspati. So Shukadev uh, so Shukadev Goswami says that he mentions that the spiritual master of the demigods, Brihaspati, he he rejected the demigods, and because Indra offended him. So this the central the first lesson that we learn from this pastime is that pride, even in those who are practicing bhakti, is very antithetical. Like it's very um, it's not conducive to humility that is required for devotional service, and it will give rise to difficulties and even disasters. So like it says, like they say, pride comes before a fall. So that is very true. That is very evident from this pastime. Um, and then, so in this pastime, as Indra was sitting on his throne with Chachi Devi and surrounded by his entourage of exalted personalities, like Apsaras, Gandharvas, etc. Brihaspati, and as he entered, he saw that he was not even given a seat basically to sit. So what would he do, right? I mean, although he was very capable of cursing Indra and everything, he could have done that, but he didn't do that. He just silently went away, went to his home. So Indra saw that his spiritual master returned back, and he was very remorseful of his behavior. And then Indra thought that he has offended him, so that's why, so now he should basically fall at his feet, and again uh, he should condone his behavior. He regretted his actions, and he should call him back. So, but Brihaspati understood his what Indra was thinking. So he could understand like Indra is thinking like that, but he did not give him a chance to do that. So he basically disappeared from. He was more powerful than Indra, so so Indra could not even go behind him, or he just because he just disappeared. So he could not find him. Indra couldn't find him, so he couldn't really um, um, he couldn't ask for forgiveness. So in text from text 11 he started regretting. He's saying, what a regrettable deed I have committed because of my lack of intelligence and my pride in material opulences. I failed to show respect to my spiritual master when he entered this assembly, and thus I have insulted him. Although I am the king of demigods who are situated in the mode of goodness, I was proud of a little opulence and polluted by false ego. Under the circumstance, who in this world would accept such riches at the risk of falling down? Alas, I condemn my wealth and opulence. So in text 12, um, uh, Prabhupada mentions about this prayer by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवताद् भक्तिरहेतु की त्वयि. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "O my Lord, I do not aspire for material opulence or wealth, nor do I want a great number of followers to accept me as their leader, nor do I want a beautiful wife to please me. I do not even want liberation. All I want life after life is to be a faithful servant of your Lordship." So, according to the laws of nature, when one is extremely opulent, one becomes degraded, and this is This is true, like both individually and collectively. So Prabhupada gives an example of the you of um, collective example of the United States. So he points out that um, United States, and and how, like, how the country is the government is incapable in managing the country. Prabhupada writes that we are now actually seeing this in America. The entire American nation has tried to advance in material opulence without striving to produce ideal human beings. So the cause of rampant criminality is lack of character training. The result is that Americans are now regretting the wholesale criminality of American society and are wondering how America has become so lawless and unmanageable. People who are unenlightened do not know the aim of life, which is in turn to return back home, back to God. Therefore, both individually and collectively, they should try to enjoy they try to enjoy so-called material comforts, and they become addicted to wine and women. The men produced in such a society are less than fourth class. They are the unwanted population known as Varna Shankara, and as stated in Bhagavad Gita, an increase of Varna Shankara population creates a hellish society. So this is the society in which Americans are now living in. They find themselves in. So Prabhupada says that long ago, Lord Indra regretted his disrespect to his spiritual master Brihaspati. Similarly, it is advised that American people regret the mistaken advancement in civilization. They should take advice from the spiritual master, the representative of Krishna. If they do so, they will be happy, and theirs will be an ideal nation to lead the entire world. So, uh, regret is very good. I was listening to in class, and it says they were mentioning that uh, somebody who regrets has at least their consciousness is a little better than people who don't regret at all. So regret, and it should come naturally. It should come like immediately as soon as as soon as we commit some mistake or or commit an offense. Not that we if it happens, that regret should come in our heart straight right away, without somebody else telling us or external factors telling us. That's the sign of a pious person, or somebody who has had some pious background. So that so at least once people start regretting, then they will do something about the action that they've committed. Moving on to text 13, Indra is continuing. One who is situated in exalted throne of a king should not uh, if a person says that one who is situated on the exalted throne of a king should not stand up to show respect to another king of a brahmana, it is to be understood that he does not know the superior religious principles. So it seems like between as Indra was regretting in text 12, what he has done. It seems, I mean, it seems like, some people in his assembly, they might have said, oh, you are the king, Indra, so it's okay, it's fine to like not stand up. If a brahmana comes, or another king comes, it's okay to not stand. You can keep sitting it's your assembly. So it seems like Indra is like replying to them, that argument that, Indra is saying that, if a person says that if another king or exalted person comes into the assembly, then they should not get up. Then basically that is not, they don't know the proper religious principles. So that is what he is addressing. In the purport, Prabhupada says that even Lord Krishna, when he was doing his performing his earthly pastimes as a king. So when Krishna also he was sitting on his throne, and Narad Muni entered the assembly, Lord Krishna's assembly. So even Lord Krishna immediately stood up with all his officers and ministers to offer respectful obeisances to Narad. So Narad, we know that Narad Muni is a and even Narad Muni knows that that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and he is a devotee. And Krishna also knows that Narad is his devotee. But even though Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, Narad is his devotee, the Lord observed religious etiquette. Because Narad Muni was a brahmachari, a brahmana, exalted devotee. So even Krishna, when acting as a king, he offered his respectful obeisances unto Narad. So this is the conduct in Vedic civilization. Prabhupada says that a civilization in which people do not know that the representative of Narad and Krishna should be respected, how will that society, um, uh, how can that society advance? A society, we are only basically living in a society which is only manufacturing new cars, new skyscrapers every year, and then breaking them down to pieces and making new ones. So technologically, it may be advanced, but it is not a human civilization. That's what Prabhupada says. So the Prabhupada says in the purport 213, he says, a society which does not know the aim of life, such a society does not know the aim of life and the highest principle of religion. So without Vedic laws and regulations, it will not be very helpful to the society. So, yeah, that's and then again, Indra keeps condemning his behavior in the next few verses as well. But we can these are all the verses that we had for today. So I will stop here. Thank you very much for this opportunity and for your patience. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for a wonderful class. And thank you all devotees for joining the class. Let's pay our obeisances. Vancha kalpatarupyasya kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Granted Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.